I am making a shark deck profile. This deck isn't how it should be, but when I was testing it, it was a lot of fun, and there are a lot of XE shenanigans going on. So, this deck is like a second deck, and there are a couple of things I had to change with it, but there are a couple of things I would also add to the deck, and I will let you know what those are when I get to them. So starting off, I play 2 copies of Beautiful Princess. This card has the effect of when it's normal or special summoned, where you can banish it to then special summon a level 4 fish from your deck. However, you can only use this effect once per turn. And what I need to add to this deck for this card is a third copy and 1-for-1. Because this card's one of the best. So if you open 1-for-1, you're pretty much going great. And then I play 3 copies of Silent Angler. Silent Angler is a free summon if you control a water monster, but however, when you use that effect, you're not allowed to special summon any monsters from your hand for the rest of the turn. Then I play 3 copies of Xyz Remora. And Xyz Remora has the effect of you can target, or you can use 2 materials from an Xyz monsters you control to special summon it. And if it's summoned that way, you're then allowed to bring back 2 level 4 fish water monsters from your graveyard, and then you can use them as for rank 4 monsters. Then I play 3 copies of Double Fin Shark. Double Fin Shark is good because of when it's normal summon, you can special summon 1 level 4 fish from your graveyard. I don't know where it's apparently. So this is basically a walking Xyz summon. Then I play 3 copies of White Stingray. It's a free summon by discarding a level 4, or can't remember if it has to be a level 4 fish or a water monster. Okay, it's a free summon by discarding a water monster. And you can only use that effect of White Stingray once per turn. And it does have another effect where if it's special summoned for that turn only, it's treated as a tuner. Which I tried playing synchros in this deck, but I didn't like it. But I'll go when I go over my extra deck. I'll tell you what I replaced the synchros with and what the synchros were. Then I play 3 copies of Lantern Shark. Lantern Shark has the effect of if it's normal or special summoned, then you can special summon 1 level 3, 4, or 5 fish monster from your hand in defense position. And then it also has the effect of where if you use it to XZ summon, it can be used as a level 3, 4, or 5 monster. Then I play 3 copies of Buzzsaw Shark. When Buzzsaw Shark is normal or special summoned, you can special summon 1 level 4 fish from your deck, but its effects are negated. So the ideal opening hand with this deck is either 1-for-1 or Beautiful Princess, preferably 1-for-1. A monster you don't need with 1-for-1. Buzzsaw Shark and Lantern Shark. Because you have those, you can go 1-for-1, start some Beautiful Princess. Oh no, Lantern Shark can be in your deck. You just need Buzzsaw Shark, 1-for-1. So you can go special summon the Beautiful Princess, summon the Lantern Shark. Lantern Shark summons Buzzsaw Shark. Buzzsaw Shark summons another one, usually White Stingray. And then you can overlay the 3 to summon any rank 4, or overlay 2, summon rank 4, or summon Shark, Shark summon Toad. And then you still have a normal summon, so you can do more XE stuff from there. And that is it for the Shark monsters. Moving on to hand traps, I play 3 copies of Effect Veiler and 3 copies of Ash Blossom, since this is a go second deck. If you don't want to play these, then you can replace them with Nibiru's and Gamma Seals. I was playing Gamma Seal in this deck, but then I had to play in a different deck and I forgot where they are now, so oops. But that is it for the monsters. Moving on to the spells. one Monster Reborn because it's Monster Reborn. One copy of Whitefish Salvage. I have two others, so I thought about putting this to 3, but it has the effect of once per turn you can take one water fish monster from your graveyard and add it to your hand. And if it's destroyed, then you get to special summon a level 4 water fish from your graveyard. But it has to be destroyed by an opponent's card for that effect. So, yeah. However, if I do add more Whitefish Salvage, I'll end up taking out the 2 copies of Pot of Avarice. I play this so I can recycle my Xyz monsters, because there's nothing like putting back 5 Xyz monsters and getting to draw 2. Then I play 2 copies of Torpedo Takedown. In order to activate this card, you have to detach a material from an Xyz monster you control. Then you get to deal your opponent 400 points of damage for every card in your hand. And then that Xyz monster gains the same amount of attack points as your opponent took as damage until the end of the turn. And then it has a grave effect you can use on a separate turn it was sent to the graveyard to banish a water Xyz monster and itself in order to draw 2 cards. So I kind of like it too, because it just helps push for further damage even if you only have 2 cards in hand, because you deal 800 damage and then you end up increasing a monster's attack by 800, which sometimes can help push for game. Then I play 2 copies of Foolish Burial Goods. This card just lets you send 1 spell or trap from your deck to the graveyard. So with this deck, there's technically 2 cards you can send, which are Foolish Burial Goods, which are the Torpedo Takedown or the 2 traps that are played in this deck. Then I personally like to play 2 copies of Sea Lord's Amulet. Sea Lord's Amulet makes it so that water monsters you control can't be destroyed by opponent's card effects, and I think it also prevents them from being targeted. Okay, so it only protects your water monsters from being destroyed by opponent's card effects, which is fine, because most of the time when I'm using this deck, my opponent's like, oh, they're using a random, I'm going to smack the crap out of you deck, so I'm going to put in some Mirror Force cards. Typically they end up with Mirror Force. So I'll activate this, I'll attack, they'll go Mirror Force, and I'm like, okay, my attack goes through. And they're like, why? This card. But anyway, Sea Lord's Amulet has another effect where during your opponent's third end phase after its activation, it does get sent to the graveyard, so if you don't want to play this, I'd suggest taking them out for 1-for-1 and a third Beautiful Princess. Then to finish off the spells, since it is a Go second deck, 3 copies of Called by the Grave to deal with hand traps. And that is it for the spells. Moving on to the only 2 traps I play. Play 2 copies of Xyz Revive Splash. Xyz Revive Splash has 2 effects where you can only use one of its effects per turn, where you can activate it to then target one Xyz monster from your graveyard and special summon it as a water monster. And that has the other effect of where you can remove it from play, special summon a Xyz monster from your extra deck that's 1 rank higher than a water Xyz monster you currently control, and it's treated as an Xyz summon by using that monster as material. So this is the deck's rank up magic card. If you don't want to play this, then I would suggest taking this and the Foolish Burial Goods out for actual rank up magic cards or Gamut Seals. But I like Xyz Revive Splash because it's kind of a more gimmicky version of rank up magic Quick Chaos, which we'll replace it with. Anyway, moving on to the extra deck. I play 1 Toad because why not? The deck has the ability to play Toad, so why not? For those who don't know, though, Toad has with this deck you never use its detach ability because you're always summoning off a shark, so it never has materials. So the only effect you're ever using is its effect of tributing a water monster from your hand or field, negate an opponent's activated card effect, and then if depending on what it is, you can set it to your field if you want to. And then its other effect is when it gets sent from the field to the graveyard, you can take one water monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So technically you can put Toad back in the extra deck as long as you have another water in your graveyard, which you should, because Vomit Shark. Then I play 2 copies of Abyss Dweller. With this deck, Abyss Dweller is just great, especially when you have 2 of them, because it has the effect of, until the end of the turn, your opponent can't activate card effects in the graveyard. So this card's great against Invoked, because then they can't go Invocation, then immediately return the Alistair to hand to put Invocation back in the deck. Because you can't use Invocation's Grave effect because of Dweller, but also Dweller's good in this deck because it's that other ability that hardly ever comes up. If it has a water monster as material, then all water monsters on the field gain 500, or all your water monsters, not all of them. All water monsters you control will gain 500 attack points. So having 2 with that gives all water monsters a boosted 1000 attack, which puts the weakest Xyz or one of the weaker Xyz monsters in this deck, Toad, to 32. And I just realized I said weakest, but yet the weakest is actually Dweller. So, my bad. Then I play 1 copy of Full Armored Black Ray Lancer. This card has the effect of where you can use a rank 3 water monster you control with no materials as you summon it by using that monster's material and put it on top. It gains 200 attack points for every material it has. So if you summon it using 3 level 4 water monsters, they don't have 2700 attack points. But also it has the ability of, if it would be destroyed, you can use all its materials instead. And if it destroys the monster in battle, you can destroy 1 spell or trap card on the field. So it's also a bit of spell and trap removal. And then probably one of the most infamous rank 4 water monsters in the game, besides Dweller, number 101, so on Arc, my bad. It has the ability of it can use 2 materials, target 1 attack position monster your opponent controls that is special summoned, and make it a material. And then if it would be destroyed, you can use 1 material from it instead. And then I play 1 copy of number 37, Hope Woven Dragon Spider Shark. Try saying that 5 times fast. But it has the effect of, if an attack is declared, then you can use 1 material from this card to weaken all opponent's monsters by 1000 attack points till the end of the turn. And if it is destroyed, then you're allowed to special summon 1 monster from your graveyard. So when it dies, it becomes a monster reborn for any monster besides itself. Then I play 1 copy of Bahamut Shark, because Bahamut Shark, where you can use, it requires 2 level 4 water monsters, but unless you use 1 material, it can't attack for the rest of the turn, keyword there being rest of the turn, to summon Toad. So, what you can do with it is, what I usually do with it is I'll summon it, then use 1 of its materials to activate Torpedo Takedown. Usually end up burning my opponent for anywhere from 8 to 1200. And then it gains 800 to 1200 attack points, and I attack with it, and then I'll go main phase 2, summon Toad if I wasn't able to kill. And speaking of killing, this card has won me so many games that's kind of funny. But number 32, Shark Drake. Shark Drake requires 3 level 4 water monster, or 3 level 4 monsters, but has the effect of, if it kills a monster in battle, then you can use 1 material, summon that monster back to your opponent's side of the field in attack mode with 1000 less attack points, and they can make a second attack. So because its effect says it can make a second attack, if you have another monster and that's the only monster your opponent controls, you're gonna have that monster take down their rot back monster and then have Shark Drake attack directly, which I think is actually kind of funny. Then moving on to the rank 5s of the deck, I play 1 copy of number 94, Crystal Zero. Crystal Zero has the effect of where you can use material to cut the attack points of 1 monster your opponent controls in half. And I do not believe it targets. Okay, no. It does target, so it's basically a walking shrink, where that effect can be used during either player's turn of using material. It can target one monster your opponent controls and have its attack. Then since I'm playing a have attack monster, I have to play a double attack monster. I play one copy number 73 Abyss Splash. This card's funny because last time I used this deck against that Blue Eyes deck, my opponent went, "Oh, that's funny. Okay, I'm going to attack your Abyss Splash with my Blue Eyes alternative Ultimate Dragon." Okay, activate Abyss Splash's effect. Use material, double its attack points till the end of the turn. However, when this effect is used, your opponent takes half damage. So what happened was they attacked their 4,500 attack monster, and I boosted Abyss Splash to 4,800. So it's actually kind of funny when your opponent attacks into this, not realizing its effect doubles its own attack points during either player's turn. Then they play 2 copies of Valiant Shark Lancer. I've actually never summoned this card, so I kind of had to read it to make sure I wasn't messing up its effect. So sorry for the pause. But Valiant Shark Lancer has the effect of you can detach one material from a water Xyz monster you control, target one card your opponent controls, and destroy it. If you control another water Xyz monster, then that effect becomes a quick effect. And it also has the effect of if another water Xyz monster you control is destroyed, then you can take one spell card and place it on top of your deck. So usually what you end up putting on top of your deck with this card's effect is Rank Up Magic, the 7th one. So you can summon any number from 101 to 107 and then summon its Chaos form. Which usually ends up being number 101 and the one copy of Chaos number 101, Silent Honor Dark, which has won me a tournament by itself just because of how my opponents didn't realize Chaos numbers were a thing. And I was playing a deck revolving around Chaos numbers at that time. But Chaos number 101, Silent Honor Dark, has the effect of being able to target one special summon monster your opponent controls, regardless of battle position, and then turn into a material. And if it's destroyed while it has at least one material, and Silent Honor Arc is in the graveyard, including its initial destruction, it can special summon itself back from the graveyard, and then you gain life points equal to its attack points on the field. However, when that effect is used, it cannot attack. Alright, for the rest of the turn after the effect is used. So, which means what I thought I could do with it was take an opponent's monster as material, attack, have it die, it comes back, so you can take another opponent's monster as material and then attack a monster that's weaker than it. Then I play one copy of Full Armored Crystal Zero Lancer. You can summon this card by using any rank 5 water monster as material. So, like what I'll normally do is summon Crystal Zero Lancer, or Crystal Zero, counter plus monster has attack in half, summon Crystal Zero Lancer, which has the same effect, where it can counter plus monster attack in half. So, and opponent's monsters are having a fourth of its original attack points. And then it also has the effect of it gains 500 attack points per material it has. So at that point, it'll end up having one material, so it only have 31, I think? No, 27. Or you can just not even do that and just summon it using a rank 5 that has 2 materials and have a 3,700 attack monster and play for no apparent reason. But it also has the effect of if it would be destroyed, you can detach all its materials instead. And then to finish off the main deck, I play one copy of Chaos number 73, Abyss Super Splash. This card has the effect of, I want to say it has some kind of battle or targeting protection. Oh, no. I was wrong. It's been a while since I last used this card. But it has the effect of if an opponent's monster battles a monster you control, you can use one material from this card, so that battling monster gains the attack points or so that your monster gains the attack of the opposing monster. So, for example, if your opponent were to attack your Abyss Super Splash with a monster that's equipped with Book or Moon Mirror Shield, or it's anything that's stronger than general, you can use one material so that after Moon Mirror Shield's given their monster the attack boost, you can boost your monster so that's even stronger. And then uh, your monster just lives and they take damage after your monster attacks. It's kind of like Honest. And then it has the additional effect where it can't be destroyed by card effects when it has Abyss Splash as a material. And that is it for my Shark deck profile. If you have any ideas what I can do to try to improve the deck, feel free to comment below. Thanks for watching.